It's autumn here in Michigan, and we're gonna make some baked apples today. I think you're gonna love them. I'm gonna show you how to core an apple. My favorite apple for baked apples is a Braeburn apple. They're just the best. They are. If you can find them, go with the Braeburn. That's my suggestion for you. You can also, use a Granny Smith. They hold up pretty well if you like that Granny Smith flavor, a little bit tart. You could use a Yellow Delicious. We have a lot of these in Michigan. And there are other ones. You want to use something that's not going to turn into mush. The two things you're looking for in a good baked apple is one, you want it to not just fall apart. If you try to use a Honeycrisp or one of these real sweet eating apples, it'll just turn to mush. But if you get an apple that's a good baking apple, it should hold up. And the reason I like the Braeburn is they usually also keep their color pretty well, and so they're still pretty vibrant when they come out, which makes them look more appetizing. If you have one of those fancy apple cores, you can just core right through this apple, and then just save the little bottom part of the core and just stick it back in there. We're going to do it old school style today with a knife and spoon. Just don't cut yourself. What I like to do is just cut a circle right around where the core is, and then go in one more time with an angled knife, and then go in with a spoon to get the rest of it out. There we go. And then what you can do is just go in there. You're going to still have some of that core, but it should already be sort of cut around the edges. There we go. That's pretty good. We have a little cavity. We're going to stuff that full of dried cherries. Here in Michigan we have a lot of cherries. And then usually you'll use some sort of nut. Today we're going to use two different kinds. We're going to use walnuts. We're going to chop them up a little bit finer. And we're going to use pecans or pecans, depending on where you're from. I like to do things by hand anyway, so I'm just going to take a knife, give these a rough chop. That's about how I like them. If you want to get fancy, you can toast your nuts beforehand also. And this will make enough for 4 apples. I'm even going to chop these cherries up a little bit. Alright. We have a bowl. I'm just going to drop the dried fruit in. We're going to put the pecans. Either way I think is an appropriate way to say it. Chopped walnuts. And then this is where that salt goes. And this isn't even a half a teaspoon that I'm using. I'm just using what I would call a pinch. A little less than 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. What I like to do is add, I have this half a cup of real maple syrup here. And this is just about, there we go, just about half of that. I like to mix that up. It's looking pretty good already. So we're just going to start spooning this right and down into the apples. You can just push it right down in there. You want them to sort of be overflowing with the topping. We're going to take this same bowl, just mix these two things. Just give it a quick stir just to sort of get that maple syrup combined into the apple cider. Take those spices, just kind of put them down on the bottom. Like I said, just remember how many you had in here. You don't want people eating those. If you're worried about it, stick them in a little cheesecloth or something. And then you want to pour this right over the apples. Try not to make a mess like me. grab a little foil. See, these look good already. Look at those. Alright, take a little foil. You just do sort of a loose wrap. Stick them in the oven. Check them in about 25 minutes. They might take up to about 55 minutes, so just take account of that when you're cooking them.
I remember Eddie Vedder at the Sonic Youth Festival. He came after Cat Power. He had a mohawk and he played the ukulele. I was surprised that he played well.
Alright, we just took those apples out of the oven. They're looking great. Mine took about 45 minutes or so. Like I said, it's a pretty big window depending on the types of apples and the size of your apples and various other things. The great unveiling of the baked apples. And here you'll see that they've cooked down. You'll know they're done. You'll be able to kind of touch them a little bit, and they'll start to press in. All these colors held up pretty good. This is one of the Braeburn apples. Let's get this. This is that Granny Smith. Worked pretty good. Cooked a little bit more on the edge. Not too bad. There's that Golden Delicious. This one cooked a little bit more than the other ones. And then you just want to put some of this in there. Remember, this is that apple cider, and then your whole house is going to sort of smell like these spices now. It's going to smell like you've been slow cooking, this spiced apple cider, which you have. And so you'll have this, juice kind of keeps it nice. It also helps to season it. Pull your little spices out, you count them, make sure you have them all before you serve them. And this is a great fall treat. You can do these for parties, gatherings, just a dinner. You can do them with your kids. I think you're gonna love these. These are baked apples, Funktified style. My name's Dan Vaillancourt, and this is Funktified Food. I will see you next time.